Welcome back, successful stylist, to episode 27. We are talking about client growth with consultation today. This is something that's really important because this is what gets our clients back in to see us, and this is what plans out that roadmap for the future. So today we're going to dive a little bit further into the consultation piece and even just pre-booking our clients with Drea.
Great. Hi, guys. I'm super excited to be here. I know you heard the word consultation, and do not tune out because there are so many good things here. I'm really, really excited to dive into this and just bring some kind of fresh life and fresh energy to it.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know these statistics because you guys know that I love statistics. I don't know why, but it's this part's really fascinating to me, and it's very possible the numbers are slightly different nowadays. But this is something that I learned a couple years ago, and this just goes to show the kind of disconnect that we can have with our clients when it comes to that consultation piece. Did you know that 97% of our industry, hairstylists, feel that they give a consultation or they say that they give a consultation every single time? But only 7% of clients who took the survey say that they actually get a consultation every time. So it just goes to show that even though we think it's a consultation, the clients are not receiving it as a consultation. So there's a huge disconnect, you guys. And the better we can get at that, then the more that we can nip those things in the bud and we can have our business thrive, because we all know it's easy to get new clients sitting in our chair. It's harder to keep them coming back. But the more you can keep them coming back, the easier it is for our business, because it actually costs 3 times more to get new clients than it is to retain the ones that we have. So this is a huge, huge piece that we feel like is really important that we need to focus on.
Yikes. I mean, that is fascinating. That is a huge disconnect. So lots of room to fill in those gaps, I hope, and we can definitely begin that today. I mean, consultation, I think we look over it sometimes because we just kind of get into our zone and we go through the motions and we have our habits and we have our regulars, and everything that we're going to do with each client starts here. So I like to think about I don't know, baking or going on a trip. Like, what if you were to start baking and you put in the wrong ingredients right away? Or if you were to go on a trip and you accidentally punched in the wrong address to your Google Maps or something. Like, everything after that is like you're moving in the wrong direction. So I always feel like the consultation starts here. It's where we build trust with our clients, and it's what truly is going to set us up for success for everything that we're going to do during that time with our client that follows. And I actually have a little surprise for you, Ambrosia, because I have some statistics as well.
Oh, look at you. Bring them on. I love it. You're speaking my love language right now.
So I really like to jump immediately into parts of the consultation that we don't think about and things that we could put into practice that are natural, but I think they could always use a little bit of work and a little bit of creating awareness around them. And that is body language, eye contact, and the art of listening. So there was a well-known study done. I hope I don't say his name wrong, but Dr. Morabian, and through his study and others since, most experts believe that based on the research of those studies, 70 to 93% of our communication is nonverbal. So, mind blown. I mean, I knew it was around 70%, but as studies continue, now they're saying up to 93% of what we say, we don't even say verbally. So that tells me that there's a huge amount of focus that maybe isn't put on this that needs to be put on this. And it makes sense. I think about when I work in other countries sometimes and I don't speak the language, but when you need to communicate and you have a desire to connect, you find a way. And a lot of times it's not verbally. So, body language, there's a way that we can be kind of closed off, and there's a way that we can be a little bit more open and welcoming. So I know most of you have heard don't talk to your client through the mirror during a consultation, and I am a huge advocate of that. Like, turn them, stand in front of them, really engage with them. And I say kind of stand in a relaxed, I'm doing it. You guys can't see me doing it, but putting your arms in a relaxed position, your body kind of in a relaxed position. No arm crossing or closing yourself off from your client, because it really like invites them into the space and into like a really organic, welcoming conversation. So I think that that's huge. Eye contact. You can't really make the same kind of eye contact through the mirror. So again, like standing in front of them, looking at them while you're talking to them. I think as stylists, we always have what, like 72 things going through our mind at exactly the same time. So the amount of intention and focus that we have to be aware of to stand there and have that conversation with our clients is huge, but super, super important. Um, the art of hearing. So hearing and listening are very, very different. Would you guys agree? Listening means paying attention, being present, processing the information, deciding on its meaning, and retaining what we've heard and understood. So, studies show that if you're just hearing, it's passive, but if you're actually listening, it's active. And that broken down like that really, really helped me as hairstylist. Another way I like to think of it is I need to be sensing, interpreting, evaluating, and then responding. So I know that's like a lot and a little, and it seems super obvious, but I think this makes all the difference in how we connect with our client before we move into like the more of the vision collaboration on what we're actually going to do.
I love the stats. Thank you for breaking that down. I always make jokes with my husband. I'm like, 95% of your language is nonverbal, but now I can actually give him like the real number. I'm just kidding. But it's true. It's like if somebody is saying the words, but their body is saying something different, then you have to take that into account. Right. And that's also important when we are delivering a message to our clients. If we are acting sluggish or we're not enjoying, maybe we don't have our head in the game, we just don't feel like being there. People feel that, you're telling people. So, have you ever been in a position where someone's just giving you a look and you're thinking to yourself like, "Oh my god, stop yelling at me." It's like that RBF face or whatever, Like we all know what that feels like. So I love this whole passive and active listening and just the breakdown of it because it just helps to understand the psychology behind why we're feeling what we're feeling when there isn't that connection happening. Communication, we talked a lot about it. We talked about it in our last episode. I'm sure we're going to talk about it in episodes to come. But a communication piece that goes into our consultation, it doesn't just direct how your appointment's going to go, but it also is the things that builds trust with your client. It creates a game plan slash roadmap for you to follow. You're solving problems, but you're not just solving the immediate problems, you're solving long term problems. And sometimes, even if a client's coming in for a haircut, but their hair is feeling really frizzy or lifeless or it feels flat or whatever, that's where we can offer other options to them. And we can't assume that clients know what to do with their hair. They're coming to us because we're the professional. We can't assume that clients know what we even offer because they only know what they know. And we can't assume that clients are not interested in all the things that we offer. So when you go to a restaurant and someone is offering the salad and the special and the desserts and all the different drinks, and that they're doing that because that's our right as a consumer to know our options, and they cannot assume that we know those things, but we also want to have an experience. That's why we go there. If restaurants didn't give us an experience, we would just be eating at home, right? We like to go to different restaurants because we like to enjoy those types of things. So try to handle things as an experience every single time somebody comes to see you, because that's the joy and what goes back into our industry. I promise when you start just tweaking little things here and there during that consultation piece, it can dramatically impact how your appointment's going to go. It can dramatically impact long term and future business that is going to come into your chair as well. And it will also keep that energy going. We need to have that, guys. I mean, there are days we're going to feel burnt out and stagnant, and we don't want to feel that. So if we solidify and we get better at that consultation piece, it will help us. Not only are we problem solving, but we're also covering retail, which is an important thing because studies have shown that when clients are using the retail that we suggest them in their homes, they're thinking of us. They're being reminded of the things that we tell them. When they're running out, they're also thinking of us. Oh gosh, I need to get back in and see her. Things like that. So it creates a direct tie. It's their way. Clients always say like, "Oh, I wish I could take you home with me," or "I wish you could do my hair in the morning," or blah blah blah. We hear that all the time, right? Well, this is our way of being able to do it. I mean, we can't physically do it, but giving them the tools, giving them the things that we use in the salon, that's going to get us a little bit closer. And then it also creates future opportunities. I was just previously mentioning that not all clients know what we offer, right? So future opportunities have to do with like getting them excited about something. A lot of my clients don't even realize I do extensions because I don't talk about them all the time, or they don't see my other clients who are doing it. And as soon as they understood, like, oh, I can just make my hair thicker, I don't actually have to make it longer. I'm like, oh, yes, absolutely. And then I tell them about it. I talk to them about the process. I match them with a swatch just in case they decide that they want to do it. And I'll tell you this, about 8 times out of 10, once that happens, they're doing it. So if you take them there, you educate them, you give them all the tools, you match their colors, you tell them exactly what they need to do to take care of it, and you tell them the benefits and features of it, they're on board, guys. So it makes it that much easier. Is that called an upsell? Technically, yes, it is. But is that what we're doing? No, we are offering them a full experience, which is what we should be doing as a professional. And then the other key thing that I want to talk about, I feel that is very important with consultations, is the pre booking piece. You don't wait till the end of the service when you're taking the cape off to walk them up and talk about pre booking, right? You want to talk about it in the very beginning. When clients are bringing a problem to you, part of that solution comes into that play. That is when the magic happens. That's when you talk about when they need to come back and see you again. If a client is not liking their haircut, was it because the haircut didn't fit them? Or is it because they waited too long to come back in to see you? A client's not going to remember the 4 weeks where everything was amazing. They remember the last 2 weeks where they didn't enjoy it. So, does that mean they need to come back in sooner? Yeah, definitely. Unless they want to hate their hair for 2 weeks. That's up to them. So, we need to be able to provide them with those options. And by providing those options, we're solidifying a game plan together. And they are now able to make educated decisions on coming back in to see us and why they need to do it.
Yes. So, a couple of important things as I'm listening to you. Well, not a couple. You said many more than just a couple important things, but a couple standouts for me in listening to you, Ambrosia, was how you change things in a small way and how they have a dramatic impact. So, I think that that is so huge. There's so much information, being shared out there. There's a lot packed even into just this one episode. But I feel like if you take just a couple small things that you can implement, it's amazing what a big difference that it will make. And we attract what we project. So being able to really connect with our clients and work on how we are presenting ourselves in order to then in return attract the clients that we really want sitting in our chair, that are going to be the best fit for us, that it's going to be a win-win, is huge. So just starting with implementing those little things. And you also mentioned, clients only know what they know, and there is a lot of information out there, but there's a lot of incorrect information out there too. So I think I love to think of every consultation like a vision collaboration. And it's not about our client sitting in the chair and then showing us a picture and us saying, great, let me do that for you. Or them showing us a picture and us saying, great, let me do that for you. And then turning around and doing exactly what we want, right? It's about, again, back to just like the art of hearing, really hearing them, and then letting them know as we're processing it. Oh, wow, like she just said that she hates that her face is super, super round, but she also wants to cut face framing layers that start way above her chin, or, just certain things that we know are not going to be as complimentary as they could be on our client. And we get to say, oh, that picture is a great reference. Like, thank you for showing me that. What you mentioned about this, I think would be amazing on you. Something else that might be more flattering in this area because of this, that would bring out your cheekbones or elongate your face, or just focusing on the positives that they're never going to be aware of, is part of that vision collaboration. You're not telling them you can't do that without telling them why. You said, creating solutions. Like, a lot of what we do is problem solution hairdressing. So we're listening, we're processing, and then we're responding in ways that give them just more information, and we're giving them a why, but then we're also giving them another solution that would be even more flattering on them, and then it's a win-win, and we both get to be happy and proud of the work and the look that comes out of that. We're here to serve. I truly feel like I am here to serve when I'm behind the chair, and I think that can get lost in translation and being in an industry that can be classified as being vain sometimes because it's the beauty industry, no doubt. But we're in the service industry. We're here to serve people. So, one thing within the consultation is that is where people are going to decide in 30 seconds about what they think about you. Another statistic, 30 seconds, first impression, people are already deciding what they think about you. Is it fair? Of course not. But statistics show that it's true. So, within that, think about people that you know and people that you come in contact with. I think one of the most attractive things about a hairdresser, especially a hairdresser that does know their stuff and maybe already has a pretty full book, is humility in a person or a hairdresser. If you talk to somebody that gets on your level, gets on the client's level, you're immediately drawn to that humbleness, and that doesn't lack confidence. That just creates humility within the confidence. So I just feel like we are exchanging energy all the time, and we are imprinting on people. So during the consultation, especially, and carried on through the appointment, if we can be really intentional about what imprint that is that we want to make, that is going to really separate us above and beyond our skill set from who we are behind the chair, the clients that are drawn to us, like you said, the clients that are going to stay with us, and even within the energy that we create within our culture inside the salon. I don't know if you want to jump in there before I go into any of my like little pre-booking tips or whatever, Ambrosia. I know I said a lot there.
I just want to echo something that you just said, and that is get on their level. Getting on their level means that you understand that perception is a reality. And if a client perceives something a certain way, it is real to them. It doesn't matter what your opinion is at that point. If they don't feel attractive, or if they don't like something, or they don't feel good, or this is not something that they were expecting, then we disconnected from them. And so if you're not getting on the same level and you're not able to get to a place that you're able to match expectation, then that's a missed opportunity. And that also means that we may lose them as a client if we can't repair that. So, and it doesn't feel good. We don't want to feel that way. We don't want to work so hard at doing something just to feed our own ego and say, like, well, that was really beautiful. What's wrong with her? It's not about that. She doesn't perceive it as beautiful. She doesn't feel good in it. And that is the entire point of all of this. So I wanted to echo those words, but keep going, dude. I think you're on a roll right now, and I love what you're giving. So give us more.
Well, I got the chills, and I love how you put that. Like, just the way that you worded that was beautiful, perfect, amazing. So thank you for echoing. I love your echoing. Pre-booking, I do have a fun secret that I feel really works, that I love, and it keeps me from getting bored. It keeps my books filled. It keeps my clients pre-booking, and it also keeps my clients from getting bored. So what I will say is always leave your client with wanting something more. So, what I mean by that is after you have completely finished their hair, you have the mirror, you've turned them around, they love it, you guys are gushing, everything's good and well. You say, this is amazing. I love this. This is the best change for fall, whatever it is. What I couldn't help but thinking of already for next time is, and then you say it. So they are in love with what they have now, but you've already started making a plan personally for them in your head about what the next transition is going to be and look like. Then they're happy and they're already excited again. So, would you like to go ahead and schedule that for next time? Can I go ahead and get you on the book for us to do that next time? You've said something that's really engaging. about their hair and made a plan for them, and then you've just segued right into like, let's go ahead and plan that now. So that has been something that works for me really, really well. Another thing is just really obvious, and it's just ask. I don't know what it is about retail and pre-booking that stylists feel like the, we get really nervous, like, oh god, I'm selling them something, or I'm forcing them to rebook with me, and then maybe they'll cancel, or I don't know what it is. I think it's fear and not wanting to be a salesperson, and just having to really shift the way that our perspective on the way that we're thinking about those things are. Instead, thinking of them like, this is part of the full service. I'm leaving something out. I'm doing my client a disservice if I don't get them in. Then they might be waiting for me. Then they might not get the spot that they want if I don't pre-book them. So just asking, hey, could we get you pre-booked for next time? Me, it's like, could we get you pre-booked for your next 3 appointments? Currently, I'm booking out until such and such a time. So I just want to give you the heads ups to make sure that you get the premium spot that you would like that works with your schedule. But zero pressure if you prefer to call. So you've like given them all the information, and then like the ball's in their court. If you're a newer stylist and your books are more not as full, I would say don't give them all the like, I'm open anytime, like what do you want? Just be like, what days work best for you? And then just give them maybe two options. If that doesn't work, give them two more options. But I would definitely still, create a little bit of, you can't just come in whenever you want, because if they are going to stay with you, that's also something that you want to make sure that you're kind of developing and training your business the way that you want it to go in the future. So set yourself up for success in that. And the last thing is it is just part of that conversation. Just like you had a consultation with them, you're closing it out, and maybe you close it out by ending like a little call to action by something you talked about with their hair. Maybe you close it out by, you're going to be on my heart and in my thoughts, as whatever they shared with you. So I think ending with something pre-booking, but then closing it out with something that is attached to an emotion and something personal is a really great place to like leave that space and like leave that appointment.
That premium spot. That's what I wrote down. Premium. I like it.
I want it. I want it.
Give me the premium. So, this is kind of funny because in the beginning I was like kind of talking about everything is in the consultation. You want to cover all your bases. And so I like to think of an appointment almost like a presentation. I know most of us hate presentations. I think it comes ahead of wanting to die, but but the thing with presentations is that there's always a beginning, a middle, and an end. So in the beginning, you're telling them what you're going to do and then how you're going to do it, why you're going to do it. And you're laying out the problem and you're going to tell them how you're going to do the solution. And then during the appointment, you are giving them the advice, you're showing them how you're doing things. Maybe you're even putting the product in their hands. Maybe you're having them try it out themselves. Maybe you're putting the blow dryer in their hands even. I don't know. Like some people like to get really interactive. And then at the end, you're saying, okay, so we have a game plan. Like we talked about in the very beginning, we need to just see each other 1 week sooner. So let's get that let's get a hair date going. Like I want to see you again and I want to see you 1 week sooner. Like I want to do this, or you can even say we, like sometimes if you don't want to be like as a commanding thing, but like we are arriving to this together. I like the power of we. I like to be able to do things where you guys are working together because we can take some responsibility for the hair, but that some responsibility is a very finite part of it, right? It's like they're seeing us in the chair only and the rest of it's up to them. And so getting them to look forward to something, it doesn't necessarily need to be like a big change either. Like you could even say to them like, oh, so if you wear your hair curly every now and then, do you use it with a curling iron or a flat iron? And they're like, oh, I usually use a curling iron. And then I'll say, do you have a flat iron? And then they say, yes, but I just don't use it or I don't know how to. And then I'll say, let's do that next time. I'll show you a couple of things that I do with the flat iron next time when you come in. So that's going to be a really fun thing to do at the very end. So you're giving them something to look forward to. It doesn't have to, I mean, you could do the exact same thing, but when you see them, obviously you want to make note of it. And when you see them, you just say, I'm so excited to show you how to curl with a flat iron at the end of this. And then you can go right into your consultation. So it's just, it brings everything full circle. You're coming up with a game plan together. You get to look forward to something. You have an opportunity to revisit. The other thing I like to do when it comes to pre-booking is I like to ask more open-ended questions rather than close-ended. So open-ended questions would be like, would you like to come in on Tuesday or Thursday? Does morning or evening work best for you? So they have to give an answer. It's more like you guys are working together on this. Remember, I was talking about the we mentality. And so by giving them the option, they kind of have to give you an answer. They can't just like ignore it or say no. Like, you want to come in morning or evening? No. So it's more like, even if they say, "Oh, I need to check my schedule and get back to you," and just say, that works really well. We do have, maybe you have a courtesy call where you can remind them 3 weeks in advance or something. You could do that. Or if you don't have that, if you don't have the ability to offer that, then you can say to them, this is the date that I'd like to see you come back. And if this time typically works for you, we can go ahead and just fill that for now. And if should anything change, you do have 24 hours, 48 hours, whatever your policy is, to call us and change that. We do send reminders as well, just as a courtesy. And if it doesn't work for you, then you can totally change it. But what I would suggest is getting that spot if it works best for your schedule. So just offering that to them, and you're always like kind of using their schedule as the caveat. It doesn't have to do with our schedule. We are here. We're here to take care of our clients. If they choose to not book with us and they miss out on that, then they did make that choice and they'll learn that lesson in the future. But if we make it seem as though they need to come into us because we are busy, that comes across in a way that your time is more valuable than theirs. And it also doesn't give them inspiration to want to come back in and see you. It's a very small communication piece that can have a different psychological meaning. So we just want to make sure that we're doing things because it's convenient for their schedule and we are fitting something that works the best for them, because that's what we're here for. If it weren't for them, we wouldn't have a job, we wouldn't make money. So we need to make sure that we're doing something in a way that empowers them and makes them feel good. So I think it's important to talk about that a little bit too. So just think of it as a presentation. Think of it as, I'm coming up with solutions. I'm following through on those solutions. I'm offering these to you that you can bring home with you to continue on with those solutions. And I want to see you back here again so that we can continue to work through that solution, and come up with more opportunities. So it's always something that, almost treat it as if they're a guest in your home. Treat it like it's your home. I mean, my gosh, some of us spend more time in the salon than we do at our own home anyway. So when someone's coming to see you, make them feel really warm and invited and that they're a guest. And that also takes the pressure off of us a little bit, right? Because it's not, we're just here serving, serving, serving. We are here to serve our clients, yes, but we are also hosting them and we are inviting them back, and we love having them here, and we love forming these relationships, and we want to give them the compliment of like telling them, you made my day, or I saw you on my books and I got so excited to see you, to see that you're coming in. Or even when we're asking for referrals, like, it would mean the world to me if you sent anybody who's like you to come in to see me. Like, if your friends are anything like you, I want them here too. So it's like you're giving them compliments and letting them know that they mean something to you and that they are not replaceable, because we are more replaceable than they are. Yes, we can get more clients in our chair. Sure. But having those relationships with the right people, those aren't so replaceable. And that's also what's going to make us either love or hate our job too.
Such great, clear communication, that word again, and in a way that we are just like beautifully honoring ourselves and our clients. But you did inspire me, Ambrosia, to where I want to give like an off the cuff call to action to our listeners. I, being someone who coaches public speaking, I'm not scared of the presentation. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll get a little sick about it, but it's still like I'm all about it. Turns me on, all the things. So I would love to challenge our listeners who are wanting to change something in their consultation in the space they're holding with their clients, all the way to pre-booking and, waving the client like out the door to head home or wherever. And anytime we prepare, the outcome is going to be so much better than if we're just winging it. So if you are trying to make a little bit of a mind shift or a little tweaks in any of this, I would really encourage you to get out a piece of paper and a pencil or your phone or whatever you like to take notes on and actually create an outline. Just a really simple outline, you guys, just as Ambrosia was talking about, that has an opening, a body, and a close, or beginning, middle, end, whatever that looks like, and insert the things that you want to work on. So you know that with the opening, your consultation is going to go there. Then anything that you feel like you want to get stronger in, you can put eye contact, body language, you can put first impression, you can put like whatever the things are that you're working on to communicate with your clients, or listening more, focusing, like really hearing them, like whatever that looks like for you, you can place in there. In the body, maybe you want to be more interactive, that Ambrosia mentioned and suggested, and those are some things you can insert in order to connect with your clients in a different way that you don't normally do. And then the close, like maybe retail goes there, maybe leaving your clients with wanting a little something more, and then pre-booking them and giving them all the information about how your booking, cancellation policies, all of that looks, and saying goodbye to them. Maybe you want to connect with them at the end with a little bit of emotion about something that they shared with you during your guys' time together. So those are things that you can write a simple outline on. You have it to refer back to, and eventually it just becomes natural, and that is just how you're going through it in a very professional, creative, connective, communicative way. So that's my call to action for you guys. I hope that it will make you feel super set up for success, and also challenge you just to grow in a way that maybe you haven't thought of before.
If you guys actually go through this list and do the consultation and you take a screenshot of it and share it with us, it can either be public or private, whether you put it on Instagram and you tag us or you send it directly to us through DM. Then I am also going to offer a little one-on-one time with you. So that way we can kind of talk a little bit about that. And so I'm going to offer some of my time to you in order to kind of put those steps into action, and to even talk about like tweaking some of that verbiage a little bit, or just diving a little bit more into that. And I feel passionately about that. So that's something that I want to offer to you guys. So if you do it and you go through the motions and you take the effort to do it, and then just make sure you screenshot it, tag us on Instagram. You can just tag at Successful Stylist Academy. Then I will take it from there. So we want to thank you guys so much for hanging out with us, talking more about growing your clientele, solidifying your business, coming up with a stronger game plan to your consultation. And hopefully, some of these tips helped you today. And we are here each step of the way. We really want you guys to feel empowered to grow successfully and to have attainable goals and be part of our community. So we want to thank you so much for joining, and we are excited to see you for episode 28. Make sure you subscribe so that way you can get notifications every single time we have a new episode. And in the meantime, take care, guys. Have an amazing week.